with the bad news is we are going to be standing. We're not taking taken care of. Or sitting, that's fine. The good news is that this is not at all going to be a half-an-hour meeting. I am just a big fan of say it's going to be long and have it shorter rather than the opposite. So, we are just going to kind of go over everything that we need to know about Agape in Motion. So, I'm going to go over to my handy-dandy little presentation thing that didn't actually translate well when I emailed it. So things look a little wonky, but first off, we have the performance opportunities, right? So, what Agape in Motion is, of course, is it's the same thing we've been doing, right? It's the performance wing. We get to go out and perform in the community. And right here we have, starting on September 10th, we have the Capital Art and Wine Festival. The Tree Lighting Festival doesn't actually have an official date sent to us yet, but we'll get that to you as soon as we can. And then, of course, we'll be doing California Dance Classics in February. Dancing in the Streets in April again, and Carrie's Dream, which also we don't have a date yet. And this thing down here, bear in mind, that is not likely, we're not just going to be throwing other things, but we're just saying if we do find another opportunity, we will let you know at least 60 days before that performance so that everyone can make accommodations. So, class requirements, right? So, Agape in Motion is where we have these core values at Agape of care and rigor, right? Agape in Motion is where we really go into the rigor thing. We want to really push the students that choose to do Agape in Motion and have them grow a lot through their technique. So we do have class requirements. For company, you have a 4-class requirement, at least 4 classes per week. And you are required to take Advanced Point on Tuesdays and our technique class on Wednesday. On the website, on Studio Director, it does say Saturday. This is a recent change. Saturday is no longer going to be required because we're trying to allow for, we have an ongoing relationship with a company called CYT in town, and to make things work for people to be able to do CYT, we're not going to have Saturdays required. If your dancers in the apprentice level, they need to be taking at least 3 technique classes per week, same required classes, the Tuesday and the Wednesday. And then conservatory, the required class is of course conservatory, because that's where we'll be learning all of the fun choreography. And you need to be taking at least 2 technique classes per week in level 1, at least 3 for levels 2 through 4. Along with this, there are going to be 4 additional rehearsals that are required for taking part in Agape in Motion. So the first one is going to be these next 2 Saturdays. We'll be putting together the new repertory. I'm going to be putting together 1 piece for the company and 1 piece for the companies and the apprentices. We'll also be doing some work in class for those that are in the conservatory. And again, we're going to try we really want to focus on commitment this year with Agape in Motion, and to make that feasible for all of us, we're going to try to really stick to this. We're not going to be throwing in extra rehearsals, but if we really, really have to, 30 days notice will be the standard. Attendance is required at the additional rehearsals, as that is where we're going to be really digging in and making our new rep and getting everything clean. And absences in the required classes have to be approved 14 days in advance. Yes?
Next week is next week, and plans may have already been made, like for our family for next Saturday, like not being in town. So.
That is understandable, because fortunately today. So, this is what the slideshow says. We can have a conversation about how to make that work, because 1 week is not a lot of notice.
Yes.
For all of this talk I'm doing of commitment. So, let's talk about the perks. So, first of all, of course, they get to learn exciting new choreography. We're going to be having staff members make things. I will be making things. Kelly might be making something. I haven't asked Lana yet, but I'm hoping she'll make something. We're also going to be bringing guest artists, like if talks go well, Ariana Marcel will be coming from Jackson, Mississippi to set a piece on the company. And we'll also be looking for other opportunities for guest artists to come in. Next up, we of course get to share our passion of dance with the greater community at all of these things like California Dance Classics, at Dancing in the Streets. We get to see ourselves as part of a broader community. We get to see what everyone else has been working on, and we get to present what we've been working on and show everybody what makes us passionate about dance. Most importantly, we get exclusive Agape branded track jackets.
Hey.
That should be the real selling point, not passion. Dancers in California, in AIM, will be getting heavily discounted privates with Agape instructors, since we'll be going to California Dance Classics. Privates will be available for only $25 instead of the normal $95. So when we're getting closer to California Dance Classics and we have our solos picked out, we can start taking advantage of those. And on top of that, this is mostly for the parents, of course, but everyone in AIM is going to get a 15% discount on participation fees for Nutcracker and the Spring Show. So that's that. And then finally, we do have the annual participation fee, and that's going to be $295 for company apprentices and $195 for Conservatory. And this is going to help us pay for our registration to be able to bring the studio to California Dance Classics, as well as make sure that people like Michelle are taking care of doing the show coordination and getting costumes and all of that. Do we have any questions? Yes?
So if we go to CDC, as far as like last year, we had to do a like a registration fee. Will there still be that registration fee, or does this $295 take care of all of that?
So I have to talk to Michelle about the specifics. I believe what it's going to be is we will probably still have to have a per variation fee, but the fees for the group performances and the registration for the studio will be covered by the $295.
Okay, awesome.
If you're not able to attend the Wednesday class, are you not allowed to be in the performance group?
So the bulk of rehearsals as an attempt to make sure that we have consistency in terms of not throwing out different rehearsal days all the time, we're really trying to get it so that we're not requiring rehearsals outside of class, and that's why we have the Tuesday and Wednesday requirement. We are absolutely open if we want to I can find a way to facilitate this discussion as a community. If we want to find the advanced dancers another 2 days that would work better, I would be totally fine with that. But we are going to have 2 days. So let's find a way to have that conversation and maybe see if maybe Wednesday can switch with Monday or something like that.
That would be great. Wednesday's too hard.
I can't cancel Wednesdays.
Oh,
It's hard for school because Wednesday is like, it's like
it's
middle
hump day.
of the week. Yeah, everybody's I have to be like smart for school. Yeah. So I can't, like, Wednesdays are kind of more tricky for me. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Yes.
This is awesome. Would you be able to send this slideshow? It's like, so we could just review. Or I was gonna write down some of the things we had on there and.
Absolutely. You know what I'll do is I will just send this slideshow out I'll do it through Studio Director, so it should get to all of you.
That'd be great.
Or on band.
Yeah.
I'll send it on band. Oh, you know what? Thank you, Kelly. I'm not Michelle, so I'm not good at this, and I don't remember the band stuff. There will be, of course, an Agape in Motion band that will have all of the updates that are central to what you need to know. We are moving to only, I think we reached peak number of bands this last summer. So like, I would always get this thing that's like, Michelle posted this post to 8 different bands, and I was like, Michelle, I love your thoroughness, but wow, this is a lot of bands. So from going forward, we're going to have an Agape in Motion band, and we're going to have a 22-23 season band, and that's going to become the Nutcracker, and it's going to become the spring show. I wasn't going to say anything. we have no idea what the spring show is. Who knows? We're doing a chorus line. All right. Let's have 5 more seconds just to make sure there's no other questions. Okay, great. Thank you all for coming to this informational meeting. I will be sending out a form in the next week so that we can get everything settled and have everyone official. That'll come out right after we have the deliberations on who's in company and apprentices and conservatory. All right, thank you very much. Great work, dancers. You were amazing.